I am Jessica Grossman. I'm a physician by training, and I am the CEO of IgGenix. So I'm going to get my slides up. We're going to switch gears and talk about healthcare. Don't leave. Gotta say no. You're like, okay. Who here knows what an antibody is? Anyone? Just you? Come on.
Will you quiz me on it if I say yes?
I'm definitely quizzing you on it. There's going to be a quiz. You're going to have to take a test at the end.
Is that what your body produces to fight off an infection?
Yes. So good. See, look at that. You don't even need me here. I'm going to try not to be too sciencey. Other question, who here knows anyone with an allergy to food? Do you have one? But you know people?
Yeah.
You too?
Yes. I don't.
Okay. I'm going to wait for some people. Oh, look, my slides are up. I'm going to see if anyone filters in here. And I believe that my documents are available on the Easter egg hunt that he's doing. So again, I'm Jessica Grossman. I'm the CEO of IgGenix. We're going to switch gears and talk about healthcare. We're a preclinical venture-backed company. And the reason that I am here today is at the last event in San Francisco, a colleague of mine presented and said that there was great interest in investing in private healthcare companies. So here I am. And what we're working on is a new therapeutic to cure allergies. We're focusing first on food allergies, and we believe we can, it's very loud.
I'm sorry? It's closed, but people can hear you, right?
It's a little challenging.
Yep.
So we believe we can truly change the face of allergic disease and allow people to live life without a fear of life-threatening reactions. And just, you said, what antibodies are. So antibodies are the best-selling drug class right now. 8 of the 10 most popular drugs out there today are antibodies, and the market is expected to be $300 billion in 2025. I'm talking about healthcare. What we do at IgGenix is we do single cell genomics for IgE producing antibodies. We have a proprietary platform, which we trademarked and call the SIFTER platform. We have our first drug candidate identified. It's in peanut allergy, and I'm going to tell you about our peanut allergy product. We have strong IP. We've licensed exclusively 2 patents from Stanford that are both allowed, and then we have our own portfolio of about 10 different patents. As I said, I'm a physician by training. I'm a 4th-time CEO. I've raised at IgGenix the A, and we just did our first close of our Series B for $26 million. We're venture-backed by Khosla Ventures. The lead in our Series B was Alexandria Ventures. We were also joined by Parker Ventures, which is Sean Parker's venture fund. And we also got corporate interest. Eli Lilly and Company joined us for our Series B. You can find out about us at www.ivygenix.com. And I'm going to show you about the milestones that we're going to deliver with this Series B funding. So as I said, our first product that we're working on is for peanut allergy. And with this Series B, we're going to file our investigational new drug application in 2024. Our peanut antibodies are actually getting made at the manufacturer right now. And we're preclinical. We have not yet been in humans. And then
Series B.
Yes, biotech.
No, I know about it. Wow.
Keep on.
All right, sorry.
Okay, and then we'll have a readout of initial safety and efficacy in 2025. We're a platform. We have multiple antibodies in our pipeline.
So you intend to infuse antibodies in sensitive patients, what, once every 3 months?
Approximately, yes. And not infuse, subcutaneously inject right under the skin.
Sub-Q? What kind of volume?
We haven't done the first in human yet. We're testing 3 different volumes, 150 milligrams, 300 milligrams, and 600 milligrams.
So that's the weight. What is the fluid volume on sub-Q?
It'll be between 1.5 ml and 4 ml.
And these are IgE antibodies?
They're IgG.
G.
Yes.
Okay. And you're making them from what, cell culture?
We're making them from CHO cells. In our pipeline, we'll also have 2 other programs, shellfish allergy and cashew pistachio. Shellfish allergy is 3.5 billion estimated in peak sales. Peanut is 4 billion, and I'll show you how we got to those numbers. We'll also work on securing additional corporate partnerships. As I said, Eli Lilly and Company is an investor in our Series B. They did extensive due diligence, as did Khosla. We have the diligence room set up, et cetera. And then, we're validating our drug discovery platform outside of allergies. Allergies is really just the first area that we're going into. We discover IgE antibodies, and IgE is implicated in a variety of diseases. Here's just a visual of what our pipeline looks like. For peanut allergy, we're way ahead. We're doing the IND enabling studies now, including the animal toxicology. But we go through a validated process for both antibody discovery and development. And shellfish is next on the list. Shellfish is actually a very prevalent allergy. And we also have non-food allergies as well, cat antibodies as well. And so for our peanut product, there's only one FDA-approved product for peanut. It's called Palforzia, and it's actually peanut protein. It's a little bit of peanut that people take orally every single day. The challenge with that is it has a high side effect rate and can cause adverse events and can even cause anaphylaxis, which is the life-threatening reaction that can occur with people who get exposed to the allergen that they're allergic to. And so the differentiator for our product is it will provide protection immediately. With food-based products like the FDA-approved product Palforzia, it can take up to 6 months to get any sort of protection. And the way that those drugs work is the body makes IgG antibodies over time. What we're doing is just giving the individual the IgG antibodies at a high dose, high volume, so that they'll have immediate protection within days. We believe our treatment will be safe with no risk of anaphylaxis because it's not food-based. It'll be a subcutaneous injection right under the skin. We believe administered every few months. And we are following an established FDA path. There is one approved product, and the payers are actually paying for Palforzia. They're paying, it's $12,000 a year. So we are following a well-trodden path with our first product. Just a quick word on the prevalence of food allergies. They're growing, and patients have very few options, only one FDA-approved drug. About 8% of the population has food allergies. They're increasing in the developing world, some think because we're too clean. There's a hygiene hypothesis. The IgE antibodies are actually naturally made by the body to protect against parasites. But because we live in a very clean environment now, the IgE antibodies have gone a little bit haywire and are now attacking, in some cases, food antigens. Food allergies are also costly and can be deadly. Hundreds of people die every year because of an accidental exposure to the food allergy. People are trying to avoid food allergen, but most of the cases that occur from cross-contamination. So you're at a restaurant and there's a little bit of the food on a fork, etc. Over 32 million people have them. That's 1 in 13 children and nearly 11% of adults. And 6 million people have peanut allergy. Peanut allergy is one of the most common and also one of the most common causes of fatal anaphylaxis. Here in New York City, the 2 most common causes of death with food allergies are peanut and shellfish.
Peanut and what?
Shellfish. Yeah, don't eat
And
that.
by
shrimp.
peanut, you just mean peanut itself, like not all nuts, just the peanut itself.
Just peanut. Tree nuts, which are nuts that grow on trees, are the nuts like walnut, almond, cashew, pistachio. Those are in a different class.
Okay.
Peanut is actually a legume.
Oh, really?
It's a bean.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah, they grow on the ground.
There's gonna be like a lot of natural investors for this topic, this subject matter, like the Walnut King of California. Did you reach out to that?
I don't know the Walnut King of California. Do you know? Can you connect me with him, Marty?
Send me a note.
Okay. Oh, you know him?
So,
I know a person who's connected to him.
Okay.
so if Marty hooked me up. I think you hooked up that company.
With
that
somebody
nut
who's
job.
connected to him,
Yeah. Because we have companies that are making alternative plastic technology using almond waste, nut waste. So Marty, I think, was one of the guys.
Yeah.
Hooked this up years ago.
Couple, last year, yeah.
But people might be allergic to those.
What's the competitive
Yeah,
landscape?
they're not eating it. It's
It's there's like a lot of people who are trying to come up with like paste and stuff like that, like. you
No,
brush your teeth.
subcutaneous, there was a company that presented, I think, yeah.
Yeah, right, exactly, right.
yeah.
The subcutaneous allergen, you know.
So most of the competitive companies are food-based. If you inject the food, there are some subcutaneous injections. It can be very dangerous and cause anaphylaxis. And so people have gone to great lengths to sort of have mask them in certain ways, but some of those products are working their way through the FDA. Again, they're going to take months to work. And then there's also some antibodies that are anti-IgE, so sort of a global treatment.
Right.
The challenge with those is that IgE antibodies are there for a reason. There's some evidence, there's a European position paper that people with low IgE have an increased risk of cancer. They have an increased risk of infectious disease. Our product is going to be very specific just for peanut. It actually attacks the peanut antigen. So what we do, we have a proprietary platform for drug discovery where we take blood from highly allergic individuals and we isolate out their B cells. Many different companies do this where they isolate out IgG antibodies, which are the most abundant antibodies. We isolate IgE antibodies. We're the only company that can do this and we have a patent on it. Nobody else can do this. The IgE antibodies are very rare. We then take those IgE sequences and we re-engineer them as IgG antibodies. So the IgG backbone that we use is in many FDA-approved products like Keytruda, Aviva. What's really special is we're taking the IgE allergen binding regions from the antibodies and grafting those on to an IgG.
What's the advantage of that?
They're fully human, so low immunogenicity risk. And also we're literally getting the most common antibodies, proteins, epitopes. So the antibody discovery is guiding us to what proteins to block. Otherwise, you really wouldn't know and you have to block all proteins.
And is there any evidence there's antigenic drift in these foods?
Such a good question. Are you?
He's a doctor. John's a doctor.
Okay.
Sorry.
Smart.
I'll sing my praises privately.
Okay. There can be some antigenic drift from children into adults, but by adulthood, the epitopes that are most allergic are consolidated, and we're doing our discovery from the adults. So again, this will be a new therapeutic modality combining IgE, CDR regions, or the epitope binding regions with the IgGs. And this therapy will prevent peanut-mediated reaction on the cells. We've done preclinical work, and I'll show that to you. Again, subcutaneous injection every few weeks.
There's one other question, and I'll try and shut it. the final common pathway of all of this is that we have cell degranulation, inflammation, etc. So what about the other companies that are attacking it at the lower levels?
At the mast cell?
Non-specifically again, no, they're going after eosinophils, they're going after mast cells, you know, or blocking their activation, blocking their degranulation.
Yes.
Various interventions that are inflammatory rectification.
Yes, so there are some mast cells and eosinophil based therapies. They all have pretty severe side effects. The JAK inhibitors can have very severe side effects. Some of the eosinophilic inhibitors that are antibody based also can have some severe side effects. And so what we're doing is actually attacking the food antigen itself, which potentially will have zero side effects. Of course, we don't know. So here's just an illustration of how our antibody will work. It's essentially blocking or inhibiting by binding the food antigens. So blocking all of those downstream mechanisms, the histamine release, the degranulation of the mast cells and basophils, but not wiping out all your mast cells and basophils because those cells are needed in your body. And so again, for our platform and sort of the work that we've done to date, we have a huge library of IgE sequences. This is the largest library in the world, literally thousands of IgE sequences to over 30 different allergens. So all of these allergens, you can see the tree nuts here on this chart. We have antibodies to. Frankly, you know, we could never develop products. We're a very small company in San Francisco. We could never develop to all of these. So we're looking to out-license some of them as well. And then I have a picture here of a little mouse eating peanut butter. It's somewhat tongue-in-cheek, but just to show you all of the preclinical work that we've done. First of all, we've done cell-based tests using blood from peanut allergic donors. We take their blood, we challenge the blood with peanut and put in our antibody, and basically we show that the cells don't react. With mice, and this little mouse is eating peanut butter here, we make mice allergic to peanuts. We then give our antibody, and then we feed the mice peanuts, and the mice who get our antibody are completely fine. The mice who don't get our antibody die. That's how, you know, how effective we think it will be. We've also done monkey studies or non-human primate studies to look at the PK in the blood, and we believe we can have a single subcutaneous dose that will be effective for several months. So very attractive economics just on the peanut product again, and behind it is shellfish as well as some of the tree nuts. In the US, 125 million children are diagnosed with peanut allergy. Not all of them will be eligible for treatment, but the large majority who either go to the allergist, immunologist, get an EpiPen prescription will be eligible for treatment. And that's a potential revenue opportunity of $2 billion. And then adults, there's absolutely no treatment for adults today. About 24% of the adults we believe will be eligible for treatment. Again, most people are trying to avoid the food. They want to avoid the food, but they just don't want it. They want to avoid this accidental exposure or cross-contamination.
Can you expand this to other areas? Because I know person who works with me, she can't drink alcohol. I think it's common in the Asian community, certain alcohol, and they have a
liver enzyme deficiency, but definitely potentially we can expand to other areas if they're IgE mediated. And that's one thing we want to do with this use of funds. Food allergy is just the low-hanging fruit. It's a large unmet need, but yes, we want to look at many different areas as well.
Well, I may be jumping the gun. Given the fact that it's antibody-based and you're taking it from cell culture, etc., this is not trivial to make.
It is not trivial to make. That's absolutely true.
So what are the price point that you need to get your financial objectives, and what will the market really bear?
Yeah, that's a great question. So antibody therapies are expensive. Okay. We believe we've done our pricing at $15,000 per year, which is on par with Palforzia, which we know that the FDA approved and payers are paying for at $12,000,
And what kind of margins do you get on 15?
90%,
And this is assuming on the market in 7 years?
approximately. Yes.
I just have a background question about allergies in general. My niece who just developed an allergy, an anaphylactic shock, close to death for a shade. She didn't know where it came from. It was late in life. She was 30. Is this like a more common thing, or has it always been there? Is this a solution?
Yeah, let me talk to you about it offline since I'm running out of time.
Okay.
But it is more common now, and they can occur late in life. Definitely adults can get new onset of allergies. So very quickly, what this funding will fund is our phase 1A, 1B. Our 1A will be just testing safety in adults, and in the 1B, we'll bring in peanut allergic individuals and challenge them with peanut. That's also the phase 3 endpoint. This program has very attractive clinical economics. My last company, our phase 3 alone was over 1,000 patients. We won't do 1,000 patients in all phases. So very low risk in terms of clinical development. And very quickly on the company, myself, I already introduced myself. We have a small team. My CSO is ex-Genentech and is really the grandfather of antibody engineering. Our CTO is from Stanford and developed the proprietary SIFTER technology. VP of research. On my board is Steve Quake, a professor from Stanford. Joel Marcus is the chair of Alexandria. They led the B. Samir Kaul is the managing director of Coastal Ventures. And then we have a representative from a European family office who's invested. Very well-respected folks on our scientific advisory board. Again, Eli Lilly and company came in this round. They did extensive due diligence. I have their diligence room. There were 40 people in it. It was crazy. And here is the use of funds. We are looking for individual investors. Our ticket size is about $250K if you'd like to get involved. And I think the woman who was here before me was talking, you know, this is a Series B. We're opening it for a few angels. But in the future, you know, it can be difficult to get into venture-backed deals like this.
Did you try to
How
get
much
any
have you
government?
raised so far? You said you raised some.
26 million of the Series B. Correct.
Did you get much like grant money or anything from the government?
We haven't really tried to get grant money, but I had just heard that the Defense Department, if you have a food allergy, you can't be in the military, so they might be interested in something.
So, you know, the DARPA group is here this afternoon and speaking tomorrow morning. There's a new group of Office of Strategic Capital. It's going to be invested in undiluted money. They'll be speaking tomorrow.
Okay,
I
great.
work with DARPA, so I can help. They get you a deck after this.
One technical question.
Yes, sir.
What percent of IgG will you be augmenting out of the total IgG load? Do you know?
So like of the total amount of IgG that you have, what percent will be?
How much would you raise it?
Yeah, I don't know, but I can find out. I can ask my CSO, he'll know.
IgG modulate the immune response in general.
Yes.
You know, they have anti-T cell effects as well on a homeostatic basis. So you want to avoid massive IgG infusion, which is given as IVIG
Yes.
for critical inflammation.
Yes.
So,
But we're nowhere
so
close to the
that's how it
IVIG.
works. IVIG depresses the whole immune system. And
Right.
so you don't want to raise IgG too much.
Right.
I
So
imagine that the amount of antigen that you're trying to prevent is very small, so the flotation of
Very
IgG
small.
has to be very small.
nanograms of antigen.
Well, I'll probably answer my own question.
Okay. Okay. Well, I will be at the dinner tonight, and I'm here, so please come see me if you want more information. And thank you so much for your time.
Wonderful.